interest only versus repayment mortgage. Which one should you do? So in the video today, I want to go through each of them and explain why you might want to be interest only or why you might want to be repayment. Now I'm going to start off with a normal person that's buying their own house. Now don't be jealous because I'm very good at drawing. I mean, look at that. This is Mr. and Mrs. normal person and they're buying their own house. Now the reason why you would buy your own house on a repayment mortgage is your own house is capped to you and your lifespan. And mortgage providers don't like you having mortgages over 60, 65. So what you do with your normal house is you would buy it and you would mortgage this part, and then over years you pay off the mortgage, because by the time you get to 65, 70, it's harder to get mortgages and the lender likes to see that you've paid it off. The challenge with this comes that you've got lazy money in your house that you can use, but we'll talk about lazy money later and how to access it. Say if you took out a £200,000 mortgage, the bank will say you can have the 200,000, but you're gonna have to pay us some money for having the 200,000 of this mortgage, and you'd pay an interest rate. Now, the Bank of England's current interest rate is 4.75%. If we take this over a 25-year term, that means the total you're going to repay is about 340k, roughly. And your mortgage payments are going to be about 1,190. So on a repayment mortgage, you're paying both the amount you owe to the bank plus the interest rate you owe to the bank too, because they're not just going to give you the money for free. But that's for your own home, and most people do that because you have a lifespan and the banks don't like giving you mortgages past 65, 70. What we do with investment is completely opposite. So when you have an investment property, you do this in a limited company. So there's my limited company, look. Now a limited company doesn't have a life, it lives forever. So you never need to repay the full amount off. So what you do with a investment is you do an interest only mortgage, which means you're not paying down the capital, you're only paying the interest. So if we've got the same house and we've taken 200k from the bank, we're only paying the interest off. And the interest will be what, about 9 grand a year. So we're only paying to borrow the money, we're not actually paying the money back. Now we don't need to with investment property, or to be fair, normal houses, because on average, houses double every 10 years. So in 10 years time, you've still got the £200,000 mortgage, but now the house has doubled. So the loan to value of the mortgage becomes less and less, and that's why it's less of an issue repaying on an investment property. So what you'll typically find is portfolio landlords like me, we have interest only mortgages, because as we build our portfolio, we want to take the total amount of profits and reinvest into buying more property. So we're not concerned with paying the mortgages back that we've got. They're in limited companies, so our lifespan isn't a problem, and we want to focus on building the portfolio. And that's the biggest difference between repayment and interest only. Repayment is you're repaying the money you've loaned from the bank plus the interest, where interest only, you're only paying the interest. Mr. and Mrs. Normal have got their own house, they're repaying the mortgage. At the same time they're repaying the mortgage, their house is going up in value. And that means they've got equity in the house. So equity is the amount of the house that hasn't got a mortgage on. So we call it lazy money. Now what I help people do is to get that money out and to use it and put it into investment property. Now there's 3 ways you can release lazy money from your property. The first way is a further advance, where you've got your original mortgage and you go to the company and say, hi, can I please take some more money out? And they might let you do that. Second is a second home loaner's loan. So you keep your original mortgage, but you put a second home loaner's loan here, a second loan, so it's 2 different loans on the same house. Or thirdly, you remortgage the entire thing and pull out the money. So you wouldn't go mad and pull it all out, but say you pulled 170,000 out. You would then put aside 20 grand to pay the extra mortgage payments, because that's going to cost you more money every month. So you put 20 grand aside for a year to pay them, and then you take what's left, so the 150,000. So we put 20k aside. We then take 150,000 and we go and we buy investment properties. And with 150 grand, we could get 3 200k houses. You've now got a portfolio, you're now building wealth. So I hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss one of these, because I'm going to be helping you with your finances and with things like this so we can build you financial freedom.